All right, today we're jumping into a story about a high-stakes corporate battle. It's a fascinating one, really, because it's all about what can happen when you follow the rules to the absolute letter and end up paying a massive price for it. This case really makes you think about power, procedure, and what's right inside a major company.
Just let that sink in for a second. This is a quote taken right from the case documents. It's basically saying that, in this world, playing by the book can get you crushed, but if you bend the rules for the people at the top, you'll do just fine. That is a pretty wild claim, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack today. So, what on earth happened here?
So, at the very center of all this is a man named Radhashyam Mahapatro. He was the director of HR at NALCO. Now, after a career that spanned almost 3 decades, he decided to take a stand. He just insisted on following the company's own rules during a promotion meeting, and for that one act, his entire world got turned completely upside down.
And the consequences were, well, they were brutal. He got suspended for 6 months, then basically put on the sidelines until he retired. And get this, even more than a year after his retirement, he still hadn't received a single penny of his benefits. His whole 30-year career was just left in shambles.
I mean, that's a pretty heavy price to pay after 30 years of service, right? Which leads us to the big question hanging over this whole thing. What did the director actually do to deserve a response like this? What was his so-called crime?
Believe it or not, this entire career-destroying mess all comes down to what happened in a single meeting, a promotion committee meeting, and the problem was a major, fundamental disagreement about how that meeting was supposed to be run.
And this right here, this slide lays out the whole fight. On the left, you've got the rulebook way, super straightforward. Each person on the committee marks the candidates on their own, the scores are averaged out, and you get a clear, transparent list based on merit. Simple. But then on the right, you have the chairman's way. Here, pre-filled sheets with scores already typed in were just passed around. Committee members were basically just asked to sign off on them. And if there was any disagreement, the chairman would just say, majority vote wins, a method that, and this is the key part, is found absolutely nowhere in the official company rules.
So this is the moment everything pivots. The director of HR, Mr. Mahapatro, he just refused to sign off on the chairman's method. He said, look, if we disagree, the only proper way to move forward is to follow the rulebook. That means everyone marks individually. And for doing that, for insisting on following the company's own rules, he got slapped with one label: insubordination.
Okay, so things escalate to an official inquiry. And this is where it gets really telling. Because when the chairman was questioned about his methods, a very clear pattern started to show up in his answers. Or maybe I should say, his lack of answers.
So they hit him with this really simple but really powerful question. The inquiry found that the chairman, the guy whose pre-filled sheets had interview scores on them, wasn't even there for the interviews. So the question was obvious: how did you come up with those scores? And his response? He didn't even try to explain how he could score candidates he'd never seen. He just shut it down. He said the question was irrelevant. He just refused to answer. And that was just the start of the pattern.
So next, they pressed him on the whole majority vote thing. They asked him, okay, show us the rule. Can you point to anything, anywhere in the official company guidelines that says you can use a majority vote to push promotions through?
And once again, no direct answer. He never came up with a rule because, well, there wasn't one. Instead, he just deflected. He attacked the director, calling the question a desperate attempt. So you see the pattern, right? When asked for rules to back up his actions, he would dodge, dismiss, or go on the attack.
Now, this whole fight over procedure is one thing, but the inquiry also dug up another piece of evidence that makes you wonder if this was really just about the rules. It suggests there might have been some bias against the director from the very beginning. And to get this next part, you need to know about something called a Special Performance Report, or an SPR. Think of it like a performance review to confirm a director's job after their probation. It gets rated by 2 people, first their boss, who is the chairman, and then by a higher-up, a reviewing authority at the ministry.
And, wow, just look at this chart. In the director's performance report, the chairman gave him a failing grade, a score below the minimum you needed to pass. But when that exact same report went up the ladder to the neutral reviewing authority, the score was changed to over 90%. I mean, that difference is just staggering.
But it's not just the numbers. It's the written comment from that reviewing authority that is the real bombshell. He wrote, on the official record, the CMD has been unfair, and then he added this killer line, CMD does not come clean. You have a higher authority, in writing, saying the chairman acted unfairly and wasn't being transparent.
So after all of this, where did things end up? Let's wrap this up by looking at the final outcomes for the two main people in this entire conflict.
And the difference couldn't be more stark. The director, the guy who insisted on following the rules, retired with an investigation hanging over him, his benefits were withheld, and his reputation was shot. Meanwhile, the chairman, the guy whose methods were questioned and who was officially called unfair by his own superiors, he got a full celebratory retirement party, he received all his benefits, no problem, and walked away without any stigma at all.
And that really just leaves us with this one big question. The whole case boils down to this. It makes you ask, what does it say about a company when sticking to the written rules is punished more harshly than just making them up as you go? And more importantly, what kind of message does that send to everyone else down the line?